Alright, hello, welcome to the second vlog for Summerween, which is going to cover it's not even the latter half, it's currently 8 o'clock on Monday night, day 4. So it's going to cover the rest of this evening. If I get anything, I will start something this evening. It's going to cover the rest of this evening, and then it's going to cover Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, which is day 4, 5 and 6. Does that make sense? How many days is this going on for? Goes on till the 11th. When is the 11th? Thursday. Yeah, Tuesday, day 5, Wednesday, day 6, Thursday, day 7. I don't know how I got that wrong then. Anyway, we're going to cover the last full 3 days of this readathon and also this evening. So this evening I am currently on sprints with my patrons. We've just done the live show for First Down by Grace Riley, which is bloody terrible, but by the way, we spent 25 minutes just ripping it to shreds. But my reading plans, I think, for the rest of the week, I definitely want to get to The Haunting of Velwood by Gwendolyn Kist, because I've heard really good things. I'm very excited about reading this one, so definitely want to get to that. I also really want to get to It Watches in the Dark by Jeff Strand, which I'm really stoked for as well, so I do want to read that one. And then I have Happiness Volume 1, and I've got Blood on the Tracks Volume 4, continuing on with some Shuzo Oshimi manga. I may try and pick up a couple of, I don't know if I'm going to get to anything else, to be perfectly honest. Again, it's just kind of fallen on a really busy week for me, where I've got a lot going on tomorrow. I'm at work again at my brother's, but the car's also being MOT'd in service, so I don't know how long I'm going to be there for. And then I've got to wait to pick Andy up from work at 7. So I may get a chance to get some reading in between finishing work and picking him up, but we'll see. And then obviously he'll be coming back with me on Wednesday. It's his day off, his only day off that I'll actually get the whole day with him with this week as well. So Wednesday it's his day off. We've got a few things we want to do around the house, and we'll want to do a food shop, but I may get some reading in. And then Thursday I'll be dropping him off back at his mum's Thursday morning, because he's got a driving lesson Thursday morning, and then I'll be coming back here, and I've got some sprints planned with my patrons for the rest of the day. So we'll have Thursday to read, but I also need to film on Thursday for the weekend. So really busy week. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, hopefully I will get through all of this. We will see. I also have a book going in the background as well with my patrons that I am currently reading, which is Scritch Scratch by Lindsay Curry. And this is a book that they have picked. I'm doing an exclusive vlog for them, an extended version of probably this vlog for them. So yeah, that is my plan. I'm going to get going because I've got 36 minutes left and I really need to get this video started editing. So I will check back in with you when I have started something, let you know what I'm going to get on with and how it's going. Okay, howdy. It's now 11:15. It's still Monday, but I thought I'd better come on and give you an update on my reading, because I've actually been reading some stuff, a couple of things actually. So I did decide to pick up The Haunting of Velwood by Gwendolyn Kist, and I'm currently 67 pages into this one. This is a little bit of a bizarre one. We're following our main character, who is called Talitha Velwood, and she comes from this small suburban town that seems to have a very strange paranormal history. Only her and one friend or two friends has come out of this town alive, and everyone else appears to be stuck there, potentially dead. So the tagline is a suburban ghost story about a small town that's trapped 3 young women who must confront their past if they're going to have a future. The Velwood vicinity is the topic of occult theorists, tabloid one-hour documentaries, and even some pseudo-scientific investigations, as the block of homes disappears behind a near-impenetrable veil that only 3 survivors could enter, and only one has in the past 20 years until now. Talitha Velwood has avoided anything to do with the tragedy that took her mother and 8-year-old sister, drifting since then from one job to another, never settling anywhere or with anyone, feeling as trapped by her past as if she was still in the small town she so desperately wanted to escape. When a new researcher tracks her down and offers to pay her to go back to enter the vicinity, Talitha claims she's doing it just for the money. Despite all the crackpot theories over the year, no one has discovered what happened the night Talitha and her estranged former best friends Brett and Grace escaped their homes 20 years ago. Will she finally get the answers, or is it just another dead end? We haven't heard from Grace yet, but we have had conversations between Talitha and Brett. Brett was initially contacted by this guy to go back to Velwood, and she said no, and then he approached Talitha, and she has decided to do it. Now, she says it's because of the money. However, I think we're under the impression it's a little bit more to do with that. I think she's trying to get her sister. So we've just had a situation where she's gone back, but it would appear that time does not run the same for her as it does outside of the veil. So she was within the veil, she thought, for an hour. Several months have gone by, so when she comes back out, the research team isn't there, this guy isn't there that like paid her and encouraged her to do this, and no one's there, and she does end up eventually coming across the guy again, Jack. She does come across, it's not a lot of time that goes by, she ends up seeing Jack again, and she's like, why the fuck weren't you waiting for me? And he's like, Talitha, 3 months have gone by. And she was like, I was in there for an hour. And he's like, no, 3 months have gone by. So time works differently beyond the veil and on the outside of the veil. And she's wanting to go back in, and she's trying to get Brett to go with her, but she's refusing. So that's the point at which I'm up to. It is very strange. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know what the outcome of the story is going to be. I don't know what the aim is, where this is going to go. I don't know if the idea is that they're trying to find out about this veil, or whether it's like a common thing. I'm not sure, but so far interesting, and I'm having a good time. And then I did also read Blood on the Tracks volume 4, so that I finished something today, because obviously if you've watched if you've watched the first vlog for Summerween, you will know that I did end today, well, not end today, but end that vlog today having DNF'd Reckless Girls, getting 140 pages into it and then DNF'ing it. So I needed a quick win, to be honest. So I did read volume 4 of Blood on the Tracks. This series is really, really fucked up and really bizarre. We follow Seichi and mostly his mother, and in the first volume they're out on like a family thing, and his mum is a little bit weird anyway, but something happens at the end of this volume with his cousin, and with the story's just kind of going on from there. But this relation, I haven't been able to figure out what's up with his mum. It's really weird. And then there's this girl called Fukishi, who wants to be Seichi's girlfriend, and his mum has kind of already interrupted that once, but it looks like Fukishi is now getting a way in again. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. I will say I don't really know what the fuck is going on. It's very confusing, and it's very bizarre, and I don't understand what's happening. I don't know if there's a problem with him. I don't know if there's a problem with his mum. I'm fairly certain it's his mum, but I don't know if her influence over him is more like of a mental and physical thing, or whether it's like an illness, a mental illness thing. I don't know. I'm really confused. I don't know if she's like possessed, or she's like you know, mentally ill or something. I'm not sure, I haven't been able to figure it out yet. It's really bizarre, but the atmosphere is incredible. It is quite terrifying, and I am intrigued to know what is going on. However, there's like 17 volumes in the series, and they're not easy to get hold of from this point on for the next few, I think. So I'm gonna have to keep my eyes peeled to see if I'm able to get them. But also, manga is not cheap, so I may have to sit back a little bit and just wait for them to maybe go on sale or something, and then I can get them. But 4 stars for this one, and it does mean that I have managed to finish something today, which is nice because, you know, I got 140 pages into Reckless Girls and then DNF'd it. So, and I am now 67 pages into The Haunting of Velwood. I think I'm going to go to bed and maybe read a little bit more. But yeah, so far enjoying this one, having a good time, and I did just want to come on and give you an update on that as well. So yeah, that is pretty much everything. Okay, hey, sorry about the lighting in my bedroom. It is night time. It's currently 5 to 11 on Tuesday evening, and I haven't updated you at all today. I've done a little bit of b-roll, but not much. But I have finished just The Haunting at Velwood by Gwendolyn Kist. I haven't run this through Corpile yet, so I'll probably give you an update on that in the morning. But I have just finished it, and I enjoyed this. I thought it was good. It was, I feel like the synopsis gives you enough without telling you too much about exactly what's going on. But there is this town where about 20 years ago 3 girls came out of, and there is like a veil where no one else can go past except for these 3 girls. 20 years goes by. It's assumed everybody inside is dead, but 20 years goes by, and each of the women are now contacted by this guy called Jack, who's wanting to investigate this veil and the people that are beyond it and who they are, what they've become, stuff like that. So 2 of them say no, Grace and Brett, and one of them ends up saying yes, Talitha. She says she's doing it for the money, but she's actually doing it to try and get her baby sister, well, young sister Sophie back, who was 8 when all of this happened and has kind of ended up being stuck that way. Talitha can go between the veil and the real world, and she can go back in and see exactly what's going on the other side. But it turns out that this story has kind of become, this town has become what it is because of something that happened in the past and something that these girls did that made it this way. And it's really, I don't know, it's really interesting. It's quite an interesting look into the paranormal and ghosts and things like that, decisions that might be made and how they can affect in the future. I don't know how to I feel like I'm just complicating this massively. I don't know how to talk about this book without spoiling anything. It was really good. I really liked the characters. I was quite invested in Talitha and Brett especially, but also Grace, and also Sophie as well, and her side of the story from the veil. Yeah, it was really well written. It is sapphic as well, so if you're looking for a queer horror novel, this is a good one to read. It did have quite good atmosphere as well, so I reckon it's going to get like a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. It was very fast paced as well, really atmospheric, quite creepy. And I had a really good time with this. It was very good. So my intention now is to go on to a book to read in the dark. Now for me, I've never actually read a book in the dark. To be fair, I have read 2 volumes, in fact 3 volumes now, of Blood on the Tracks, where it's been nighttime outside and I've just had a light, like a lamp on, so that I can actually see what the fuck I'm doing. So in theory this wouldn't be my book in the dark anymore, but I feel like it's appropriate for a book in the dark because the title is It Watches in the Dark. And this is by Jeff Strand. It is a middle grade horror and I think it's going to scare the pants off me. And it is now pitch black outside. It's storming a little bit as well, but I am going to keep the lamps on because obviously I need to be able to see what it is I am reading. This one is following twins, Oliver and Trisha, and they love going on adventures with their dad. One day they're out canoeing with their dad, but their boat capsizes and they end up the dad ends up being knocked unconscious, alone and without cell phone reception. Their only choice is to continue downriver for help. So they end up paddling until they end up coming across this town in which they it's a very strange village, and there's a giant scarecrow in the village square, and they're told that he watches over them and he keeps us safe. And then an old woman starts warning the twins that they shouldn't be here after dark and they need to leave the village. So I think it's going to be really spooky. I think there's a chance it could scare the pants off me. I also think there's a chance I may not be able to finish this evening because of that reason. I do have the audiobook, so that's good. I'm probably going to add to the atmosphere. And it says I have 1 hour and 42 minutes in total on 2.5 speed. So I may try and stay up and try and just finish this one and blast through it, I think, so that I can start something else tomorrow. I have had the audiobook for My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon come in from the library, so I'm intrigued about picking that one up. I did have the only other book on my TBR that I haven't attempted yet is The 5-Year Lie by Serena Bowen. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be able to get to it, and I did say that in my TBR, so I may end up swapping that one out. And while My Darling Girl's audiobook is coming from the library, I might give that one a bash. So we'll see what happens with that tomorrow. I do still have tomorrow and Thursday. Andy is home. He's downstairs asleep on the couch. So he is home. And tomorrow I'm going to try and do a little bit of work, some reading. We've got some bits around the house that we need to do, but it's the only day off I think I'm going to get with him this week. Depending upon a certain thing that is happening on Friday that I'm not going to mention right now, but if you know, if it goes the way we hope it goes, you will find out about it. But yeah, so that is my intention. So I'm going to give this a read. I just wanted to come on and give you an update despite the lighting, albeit maybe it's a vibe. Maybe it's atmospheric. It's doing nothing for my face though, I can tell you that much. So yeah, reading is going well so far. I have finished a volume of Blood on the Tracks and The Haunting of Velwood so far for this vlog. I do still want to read Happiness as well, I think, for this vlog. Hello? Hello? Where are you? Oh, you're sitting on it. Dumb fuck. Happiness volume 1 I think in this vlog as well, and then I do have an extra book that I'm reading with my page for my patrons as well that I do still need to make some progress in, because I don't even think I'm 100 pages into that one. It's a physical read. I just need to dedicate some time to it, to be honest, and the best time for me to do that is when I'm home alone and I've got a few hours. So Thursday will be the best time for me to dedicate my time to that book, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna go into this and freak the shit out of myself. I think that's what I'm gonna do this evening. Hello, okay, good afternoon. I was about to say morning, it's 1 o'clock. I've been doing a little bit of work this morning. I've had a shower and I have read another book. So last night, in the terrible lighting of my bedroom, I told you I was going to start It Watches in the Dark by Jeff Strand, and I actually read this whole thing last night before I went to sleep. I was nodding off by the end, but I literally had like half an hour left, so I just finished it off. This does follow twins Oliver and Trisha, and they have gone canoeing with their dad when they have an accident, and their dad ends up quite injured. They end up stuck, finding themselves in this like small town when they go wandering looking for help, and there's this like giant scarecrow in this small town, and the people that live there all say that this scarecrow helps them out. It helps save them and keep them safe. So anyway, weird things going on. An older lady tells the kids that they should try and leave before nightfall, but they don't end up doing that because their dad ends up in the hospital there. And strange things start going on after nightfall. They do try and get out. The people are weird, but this scarecrow is not good, and it just kind of goes from there. It was quite atmospheric, I will say. It didn't terrify me as much as other middle grades have previously. Another one that has a scarecrow in it is the Catherine Arden one, Small Spaces. That series freaked me out, but I was really mad at how the last one ended. So I really love that series. Very way more atmospheric than this one, I would say, but I did enjoy it regardless. I thought it was a good time. I had a good time with it, and I gave it 3 stars. It was good, very fast-paced read. So then this morning, after I've had a shower, I did read Happiness Volume 1 by Shuzo Oshimi, which is the same author of Blood on the Tracks. So I'm now partway through 2 of their series, which is fine. I think I can get the majority, not the last 2 I don't think, but I think I can get the majority of the rest of the series on Kindle Unlimited, except for maybe the last 2. So I think I'm going to continue reading it on there. I am going to continue reading it. So I'm following Makoto Okazaki, and he's in his first year of high school. Not a lot interesting happens to him, but he does get bullied a little bit by this group of kids who make him go and get their lunch and stuff every day. One night he's going to the video store to drop off a video, and he ends up being attacked by this girl who is a vampire. We're under the assumption she is anyway, and she asks him whether or not he wants to die like this or whether he would like to survive, and he says he doesn't want to die. So she leaves him alone. He ends up waking up in hospital sometime later, and then the next day he goes back to school. Everything's okay except for the puncture wounds, obviously, in his neck, the puncture marks in his neck. So he goes to school, but then he starts feeling really weird. It seems like he can smell blood. Obviously, if he's around any girls who are, you know, it's the time of the month, he can smell blood, things like that. But he's not 100% certain what is going on with himself. And this just starts to progress, and he starts to say no to the bullies, ends up in a fight with one of them, and he seems to be changing, but he also at the same time doesn't seem to be happy about this situation. So it was good. I liked it. Good first volume, and I would like to continue on with it, as I said. So I may try and read a couple more before Summerween finishes. tomorrow evening, because today's Wednesday, tomorrow evening. So before Summerween finishes I may try and read some more. Not guaranteed, but we'll see. So yeah, I did give this one 3.5 stars. It was good, I liked it. So there is that as well. Then last night, after I finished It Watches in the Dark last night, my hold for the audiobook of My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon came in. So I had a hold on it from the library, and I thought if it comes in I'll pick it up, if it doesn't I'll just pick it up when it does come in. So it came in last night and I thought, well, I might as well pick this up then. So that's what I did. I ended up reading the first the prologue and the first chapter, so I'm up to chapter 2. I'm not far in at all, because like I said, I was nodding off while reading It Watches in the Dark. I got to page 14, but then this morning my copy of Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay came in, and then I didn't know what to do because I really want to read this. I have heard that the audiobook for this is fantastic, because I think it's going to be like a really great immersion read where I can sit and follow along with the book while listening to the audiobook. It's got like transcripts in it. I believe it's a very good audiobook, full casting, lots of, you know, what's the word, sound effects, things like that, like turning of the pages and feeling like you're sat in a reading of a movie as well, things like that. So I've heard great things about the audiobook, so then I didn't know what to do. So I took it to Instagram for a poll, and I was like, right, my hold for My Darling Girl came in last night. I've read the prologue, but then Horror Movie's coming this morning and I don't know what to pick up. However, the voting has gone in the favour of My Darling Girl. This probably works in well, to be honest. Andy is home today and I would like to spend some time with him, but I also want to get a little bit of reading in, so I'm probably going to read for just a little bit and then go down. But it does mean that potentially I can read both of these before Summerween finishes tomorrow night. The audio book for this is quite short. This one isn't too long either, so there is potential for both, and I will have more time tomorrow to do immersion reading than I do with this. I think while I'm listening to this, what I might try and do is actually put some books on Vinted, because I'm sick to death of seeing these stacks of books in my room. So I think that's what I might try and do, is put some books on Vinted and try and sell some books. So I am going to go into My Darling Girl. This one is following a woman who I think we're going to be back and forth with some time jumping in the past and present, following Alison O'Connor, who has a pitch perfect family life in small town Vermont with her husband Mark and their 2 daughters, the rebellious teenager Izzy and precocious elementary schooler Olivia. Everyone is busily putting up holiday decorations around the house when Alison gets the call. This was another thing as well last night while I was listening to the audiobook. It's set at Christmas, so I ummed and ahed then about putting it down, even last night, about putting it down and saving it for around Christmas as like a Christmas horror thriller book. But I went on Goodreads to see if anyone said specifically this is a really good book to be reading around Christmas time because of that, but someone actually put this is a really great book to be reading as the lead up to Halloween, so it seems like the perfect time to be reading it. Mavis, Alison's estranged mother, has been diagnosed with cancer and has only weeks to live. She wants to spend her remaining days with her daughter, son-in-law and 2 granddaughters. Alison grew up with her mother's alcoholism and violent abuse and has little desire to relive those traumatic memories, but she reluctantly agrees to Mavis's last request, hoping that they both might be able to heal and have the relationship she's always dreamed of. But when mysterious, increasingly terrifying things start to happen upon Mavis's arrival, Alison begins to wonder if something far more sinister is at play, and her mother's final days spiral into nightmare. She must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect her family. So far we've had the prologue, which is when, I think it was 28 years ago. Sorry, 37 years ago. I was out by like 9 years. 37 years ago, when Alison is a kid and her mother is having like an episode. She's clearly been drinking and she's having like an episode, and she's saying things to Alison like, I wish I would have killed you to protect you from all of this, blah blah blah. She's going on, she's acting really bizarre with Ali. So we've had that, we've had a scene of what it was like 37 years ago, and then in chapter 1 we are in present day where Ali is at home with her husband and the kids, and she's putting up Christmas decorations, and then she gets the call about her mum and finds out about the cancer. So she's got a brother as well called Mark, who is he called Mark, or is that her husband? Oh no, Mark's her husband, Ben. Ben is her brother, who will have nothing to do with his mum and hasn't since he was old enough to leave, I assume. So he would not be as keen on this situation as Ali. Well, Ali doesn't seem to be keen about it at all, but she feels like she's no choice. So I'm intrigued about this one. I think it's got like demonic possession or something, I'm not sure, but I'm really interested to see where this goes. I am a little bit anxious about it. Mother-daughter relationships, I'm not a huge fan of them, I'm not going to lie. For reasons, I'm just not a big fan of them, and the alcoholism that comes in this as well could also bother me for reasons that I don't want to go into. But so I am a little bit nervous about that, the whole alcoholism, abuse, mother-daughter side of it. I don't know. Don't know if this is going to go down well. I have read from Jennifer McMahon before. I read Children on the Hill, I think that's what it's called, last year. Yeah, the Children on the Hill last year, and I gave it 3 stars, but I haven't read anything else from her, but I have always been interested to want to read more from her. So I did get this one. This is the newest one from her, if I remember correctly. It came out, 2023, maybe she's had another one come out since then. But yeah, so I'm gonna give this one a read. We'll see how it goes, and then I think I might try and get into horror movie tomorrow, maybe. I would really like to read this one. I am very intrigued. I want to read everything at the moment. I'm just constantly scouring audiobooks to see what I can get hold of, and then I'm like, oh, I could read that, oh, I could read that, and I just want to read everything all the time with no time. She's great. I feel like this portion of Summerween is going better than the last portion. I managed 2 manga and a book in the last one. I did get 140 pages into another one before DNFing it, but this one I've already finished 2 books and 2 manga. So I feel like we're doing well, and I've still got like today and tomorrow to go, so that's great news. I will be doing sprints tomorrow as well with patrons, so fabulous. But yeah, I just thought I would come on, let you know how I'm getting on, and just let you know what book I'm picking up next. Hello, it is still Wednesday. It's 11:15 in the evening. A couple of things have happened today. This afternoon, Jamie and his brother came round to visit us, which was lovely. They played, we hung out for a bit, had a catch up, they played some PlayStation, we had some tea, we got a Chinese takeout, and then because Andy's got a driving lesson tomorrow morning, I was going to drop him off at his mum's anyway, because his instructor will pick him up for his mum's, but not here. So because he's got a driving lesson tomorrow, I was going to drop him off. But while Jamie was here, he just took Andy home this evening anyway, and they've watched the England-Netherlands game from his mum's. So I've watched the England-Netherlands game. England have won. Success. So we're into the final now. I think that was the semis. We're into the final now, which is great. And then I watched the first of Riley Marie's Summerween videos. Thought I would treat myself to a Summerween video and then get on with some reading. So I have been reading more of My Darling Girl this afternoon, and I am currently on page 118, and I am really enjoying this. I'm having a very good time with it. It's really good. It is quite atmospheric, very creepy. Her mum, so bizarre, and the fact that the kids are involved as well. Olivia's kids, Izzy, and also I've forgotten what her youngest is called. sorry, Olivia is the youngest child, Alison is the mother. The fact that Alison's kids are involved, Izzy and Olivia, especially Olivia as well, she's taken very much so a liking to her grandma. So it's all very, very strange. And the creepy goings on is already happening. So really enjoying it so far, having a good time. But my thought process was that tomorrow I'm also physically reading a book for my patrons because I'm doing them an extended version of this video. So I need to make my way through that book. I need to make my way through this book. But I also really wanted to read Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. Now my thought process is, I think I said to you earlier on today when this came in, and I said that I'd done a poll, but my darling girl won on the poll. Now, I think I said to you at the time, this has like a full cast audio, it's got sound effects and everything. I'm really excited about reading it, but I think I'm gonna have to follow along with the book, which is what I intended to do. So my thought process was this: I have a full day now tomorrow at home. I don't need to nip out and drop Andy off at work, at his mum's. I'm not going to be out of the house for a couple of hours doing that task, probably nipping to see my nephews, things like that. I'll go and see them on Friday instead. I now have the full day at home tomorrow, in which I do need to film 1 or 2 videos. I also need to edit at least one of those videos as well as this one, and just get on with a little bit of work stuff as well. My thought process was that I can listen to this without having to follow along with the book because it's quite simple to do, so I've been doing it today while putting some books on Vinted. So this, however, I wanted to tandem read, so I want to listen to the audio while following along to get the full immersion reading. It's not called tandem reading, is it? It's called immersion reading. Immersion read. So I thought I would start it this evening, maybe get an hour or 2 in with it, make some headway with it. Actually, probably try and get 2 hours in. It's a relatively short audiobook. It's like 7 hours and 50 minutes, which I ended up having it, I tried it out at 2.4 speed and it was too fast. So I had it down to 2.1. So it would have taken me like 4-ish hours to get through, which isn't too bad. So I thought if I could get halfway through today, tomorrow I can listen to this while making like thumbnails and things like that, updating anything I need to update with any of my to-do lists or my Notion list or Canva or anything like that. I can go up and physically read my physical book for patrons and get some more pages in for that. But then I can come back to this with some more immersion reading later on in the day tomorrow. That was my intention. So that's been my thought process. I've gotten to page 54. Here's where the problem lies. This book, first of all, let me tell you about it because I haven't. We're following 2 different timelines. We're following current day and we're also following summer of 1993, where a group of young guerrilla, I don't know what that word says, filmmakers spend 4 weeks making a horror movie, a notorious, disturbing art house horror movie. The weird part, only 3 of the film's scenes were ever released to the public. Steeped in mystery and tragedy, the film has taken on a mythic renown. Now, I think there's been like a huge fan base following these 3 scenes from this movie for horror movie, and now in present day one of the main actors from that movie who played Thin Kid is now back as a producer to do a reboot of the movie and try and do a full length part of the movie. I think some weird shit happened during the movie. Decades later, a big budget reboot is in the works and Hollywood turns to the only surviving cast member, the man who played the Thin Kid, the masked team in the centre of it all. He remembers all too well the secrets buried within the original screenplay, the bizarre events of the filming and the cross lines on set. Caught in a nightmare of masks and appearances, facile Hollywood personalities and fan conventions, the Thin Kid spins a tale of past and present, scripts and reality, and what the camera lets us see. But at what cost do we revisit our demons? After all these years, the monster the world never saw will finally be heard. So I've ended up picking this up for a number of reasons, actually. First of all, it's been incredibly popular. It's been, I've seen it around literally everywhere. Second of all, it's called Horror Movie. I will reach for anything that I think is going to give me Scream, Halloween, horror, campy slasher horror movie vibes. I'll reach for anything that I think is going to give me that, which is what I thought this was going to give me. Paul Tremblay, very popular. I have read 2 of Paul Tremblay's books before, neither of which One of them, The Cabin at the End of the World, I saw the movie first and then read the book, which I'm glad I did it that way round, because I do think I would have DNF'd that book had I not seen the movie first. But I gave the book 3.5 stars. I think it was one of those that the horrifying side of it was the lengths that some people will go to when they think a certain way. The second book was The Pallbearers Club, which I fucking hated. I got to the end of, I gave it 1 star, and if I could possibly give it less than 1 star, I would do. It was so bad. I hated it. It wasn't for me, and I think this is the thing, like, I am now... I'm mad. I'm now under the impression, I'm mad for 2 reasons, actually. I'm now under the impression that Paul Tremblay is not for me and I should stop picking his books up. He writes very pretentiously and I cannot stand it. That, in general, that synopsis should have given it away. There were a couple of words in that synopsis that I'm like, this is so fucking pretentious. What does that word even mean? I'm not clever enough for these books. I'm not clever enough. And they just make me feel stupid because I don't understand what they're trying to do. I watched Gabby's first vlog the other day. She was reading this and she was going on about it. So I went into this with some preconceived notions of how this book was going to go. But I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed on 2 fronts. I thought that maybe I could have a win with Paul Tremblay. I don't think I'm ever going to pick up anything from Paul Tremblay ever again now. We clearly just don't gel, which is okay. You know, sometimes it just doesn't work with authors. The second thing that disappoints me, the audiobook. I get the feeling that this is the type of book that the audiobook will carry the book. I think it will carry the book because it's supposed to be a full cast narration with sound effects and giving you, you know, this full immersion horror movie vibe of a book. Bring it all to life, play it out like a movie in your head. Perfection. No. What the fuck is with the publishers releasing 2 different audiobooks? Because I know they're 2 different, probably 2 different publishers, but surely they communicate. Why are they not? I just don't understand when they do this. I don't get it. Similar with, like, for example, the cover with Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. Fucking decisions the UK publishers made for the cover for that fucking book are terrible. So bad. The cover, the US cover for this, stunning, beautiful, very much so along the vibes of Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. This, not horrendous. I don't hate this. I don't hate it. I prefer the US one, but I don't hate this. The audiobook, 2 narrators, 1 male, 1 female, no extra sounds, no sound effects, no, you know, turning of the page as you're turning while they're doing the sound, not the sound, the run through of the script. None of that. None of this. I mean, maybe I haven't hit it yet, but I'm 55 pages in. We've had 3 screen run throughs. Maybe I haven't hit it yet where they're making mistakes in the talking parts. I don't know. Or whether that's been played into by the narrators when they're doing the audiobook. I don't fucking know, but I believe that, like, in the audiobook, the full cast one, when they're doing the screenplay run through, that sometimes they'll make a mistake and then they'll go, oh sorry, I made a mistake, and then go back, almost like you're actually sitting in on a you know, run through of the screenplay. None of that in this, none of it. The audiobook is a normal, everyday audiobook. There is no special effects, no nothing. It does not bring the story to life. The main character, the producer, who has no name, who played the Thin Kid, is very obnoxious, very up his own ass. It's breaking the 4th wall, which normally I usually like in a book, but this guy's an asshole and I don't like him. And he's very aware of the fact that he's a bit of an asshole as well, which, kudos to him, you know. But oh, it's so pretentious. I went into this thinking the audiobook is going to carry this and I'm really excited about it. Like, I was so stoked for the audiobook and it's let me down. that we in the UK do not have that audiobook, that incredible, phenomenal US audiobook where they've got all of the exciting shit going on. So I'm livid, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, because this was not cheap. It wasn't cheap. I had to get it from Blackwell's because Amazon didn't have any. Waterstones didn't have any, and I had no idea where else to get it from. And it's come today, and now I've DNF'd it. So I'm livid. 54 pages in, second book I've DNF'd to Summerween. I'm so frustrated. I think I would feel better if this had been sat on my shelves for years like Reckless Girls was, but it isn't. So yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to focus on finishing My Darling Girl, I think, and the other book for Patreon. And if I've got some time, I'll finish something else, but if not, that might be it. So, fucking livid. Absolutely fuming. I think I'm going to treat myself to some more Summerween videos now after that. I'm so annoyed. So, how disappointing. Okay, it's 1:15 on Thursday afternoon. It's the final day. I have been up since about 10 o'clock. I've filmed a video. I've edited this video up until this point. It's currently 46 minutes long. I have watched the clip back from last night about me ranting about horror movie. Everything still stands. I am still fucking mad about it. I just can't understand why publishers can't communicate with each other. I know they're two different, usually two different publishing houses, but sometimes maybe not. They're under the same original umbrella, I think, but just, you know, the US and the UK. Communicate with each other. When you're gonna do an incredible production or like a full cast audio for a book, let everybody have it. Let, you know, the other publishing house buy the rights. Why are we... There is nothing wrong with an audiobook that's got just two narrators, sorry, and they are narrating the book. Nothing wrong with that. That is the standard, literally, with the majority of most audiobooks. But all I am hearing about this book is how fucking good the audiobook is, and now I'm annoyed and disappointed because we don't get that really great audiobook, and it just frustrates me. It really annoys me that us as the reader, because the publishers, and I know it's about money and things like that, and there's, you know, certain things that they've got to follow. I know there are certain things that mean that they can't always do this, but it fucking annoys me. And I think the other reason why I'm frustrated is that I'm currently reading Scratch by Lindsay Curry for the Patreon exclusive version of this vlog, and somebody commented on one of my videos saying, oh my god, the audiobook for Scratch is fantastic, you should listen to it. And I'm like, well, we don't get that in the UK. I'm annoyed that we don't get the first 4 or 5 Veronica Speedwell books in the UK. What is the matter with publishers? The Veronica Speedwell one fucks me off more than anything, because we still get the last like 3 or 4 books in audio in the UK. Why are we not getting the first portion of that series? What has happened here? Who made this decision? It just fucking annoys me. It really, really frustrates me. I understand the different publishing houses, but just make it make sense, please, because I don't like... I know it's not targeted specifically, but I don't like feeling like we're being, you know, I don't know, treated differently. I don't know, I just don't like it. I just feel like it's really shitty. Why are you giving certain people something like a really fantastic audiobook or an audiobook at all, and then not other people? And it just annoys me. And the fact that we can't get access to that, like, it is so difficult for us in the UK to get access to a US audiobook. So difficult. I have not been able to manage it at all. I've tried almost everything I possibly can to get hold of the Veronica Speedwell audiobooks, and I can't get them. So yeah, just really, really frustrated, to be honest, about it. So I just thought I would carry that rant on for right now, because apparently this video isn't long enough. So that's what I've done so far this morning. I filmed a video. I need to now edit that video, and I've also edited this vlog up until here. I do need to finish My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon. I haven't read any more. Last night, after I had that rant, I went ahead and watched... What did I watch? I think I watched Gavin's Filming Only at Night Summerween video, and then I definitely watched at some point yesterday as well. I can't remember if it was after that clip. It might have been his, in fact that might make sense. I watched his video, vlog 1 and vlog 2 for Summerween, and then I watched all of Katie Colson's Summerween videos, vlog 1 right through till, sorry, day 1 right through till day 5, which was the last video that was out at that time. I watched all of those. So yeah, I didn't read any more last night, so I am still on page 118, and I've got about 2 hours and 20 minutes left of the audio of this. So I would really like to finish this off today. I actually would really like to finish this before sprints start this afternoon at 4 o'clock with my patrons. I've got sprints with my patrons at 4. Don't know why I just repeated that. Because then I'm kind of hoping that that will help me sit down and concentrate on finishing Scritch Scratch by Lindsay Curry for my patrons, and giving them their final thoughts, and then all I need to do is edit the last few clips for this vlog, and then I can edit the patron exclusive one. So that's what I have left to do today, and I'm hoping that I can still achieve all of those things. I also need to feed myself because that is a thing I will forget to do. So that's my plan for the rest of the day. I'm hoping that I can sort that out. I'm halfway through sorting my thumbnail out for this vlog as well. So fingers crossed I'll get that sorted as well. And yeah, that is the plan. So I'm gonna go because I really need to get started, well not started, I need to continue on with my day. I also need to get something to eat. So I'm gonna go and sort that out, but I will chat back in with you when I have probably finished this maybe. I will let you know. I'll keep you posted. Hello my loves, it's currently 6:30 and I'm here to wrap this vlog up. I did finish my last book, so I thought we could very quickly run through exactly what I've read in this vlog. I'm going to quickly show you everything I've read overall for Summerween. In fact, let's do that like now. So obviously Reckless Girls was a DNF. Home is Where the Bodies Are was 4 stars, and then we have 4 stars each for Blood on the Tracks. But this is everything that I managed to read. 2 DNFs are in there as well for Summerween. I think I did all right actually. I'm not too mad about that. So let's take these 4 off. Let's very quickly run through what I did read for this second vlog. So we started with Blood on the Tracks volume 4, which I did give 4 stars. This series is very fucked up and very messy. Then I did read The Haunting of Velwood by Gwendolyn Kist, and I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was a good time, very creepy, and I really enjoyed it. Then I read It Watches in the Dark, which I gave 3.5 stars. It was good. It didn't give me the creep factor as much as the likes of Small Spaces, which is something that I would compare this to. I do think Small Spaces was better, but regardless it was quite good and I enjoyed it. Oh, 3.5 stars for this one. Then I did read Happiness volume 1. I enjoyed this. I don't think I'm enjoyed this first volume, albeit the first volume of Blood on the Tracks was fucked up and I didn't know what was going on. I think that also got 3 stars. This one did get 3 stars as well, and I am intrigued to continue on with the series. For some weird reason though, the majority of this series is on Kindle Unlimited, but the majority, well, none of Blood on the Tracks is on Kindle Unlimited. Really weird. But Shuzo's other series as well is also on Kindle Unlimited, so that's bizarre. But yeah, 3 stars for this one. Then I did last night DNF Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. I'm still fucking mad about it. It is what it is. And then I have finished My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon. This is going to get 3.5 stars. I gave The Children on the Hill, I think got 3.5 stars as well. I enjoyed this. I thought it was good. I think it was quite creepy. I do think it was predictable. I anticipated where this story was going in regards to the whole possession and what was coming next with that, and who was going to be a target and things like that. I did predict that. We are following Alison and her family, Mark, her husband, her 2 daughters, Izzy and Olivia, and her abusive mother, alcoholic abusive mother, who for all of Alison's life and also her brother Ben's life, she has abused them physically as well as mentally and verbally. But now that her mother is dying, she has asked whether or not she can come home to Alison's and live out her last days there. So Alison agrees, but it turns out they're not as all as it seems, and Alison's pretty convinced that her mum is being possessed by a demon, some demonic possession going on, and that is the excuse for all of the alcoholism and violentness when she was younger. She thinks that there was times when her mother seemed to be acting strange but was actually probably trying to protect them from the demonic possession, and it just kind of goes from there. I thought it was good. I thought it was quite creepy at times. The atmosphere was pretty good. I liked the characters, but I wasn't ridiculously invested in any of them specifically. I don't feel like we got to know them too ridiculously well. And I thought it was good, but as I say, I did think it was predictable. So but yeah, 3.5 stars for this one. I'm glad I've read it though, because it is the latest one that I've got from Jennifer McMahon, and I did have a good time with it. I do think I would read more from Jennifer McMahon. I know she's got quite a backlist that I haven't touched, so the only other book that I've read from her is The Children on the Hill, and even though both of them have had very similar ratings, I do think I do enjoy her writing, and I do think they're quite quick to get through as well. So, you know, 3.5 stars isn't a bad rating at all. So, I mean, it's better than Paul Tremblay. He's not doing so good for me. I wouldn't go back to him, that's for sure. But yes, I think I've had a great time. I know I've had a great time doing Summerween this time. I just fucking love these Summerween readathons. The Ween readathons in general, like, I'm super stoked. I really hope that Gabby does another one in October for Halloween. She usually does, and then she tends to do Winterween as well at the beginning of January. So I am hoping that we get that, but I think I did alright. I don't think I did too bad. I didn't get to the 5-Year Lie by Serena Bowen. It is what it is, but I did manage to get to a couple of other books that I wasn't anticipating. I managed to get to the books that I did have on my TBR. Reckless Girls, Home is Where the Bodies Are, The Haunting of Velwood, and It Watches in the Dark. And then The 5-Year Lie was my other one. But then the extras that I have managed to get to: 3 volumes of Blood on the Tracks, a volume of Happiness, a horror movie, and My Darling Girl. So I'm really happy with this. I think it's gone all right. Chat to me in the comments down below. Did you take part in Summerween? What was your favourite read? I, yet again, am in a position where I haven't had a 5-star read for a while now. It's been a month, I think, since my last 5-star read. When was my last 5-star read? Hollow. The 14th of June. So almost a month since my last 5-star read. And I had 3 5-star reads in June, but 2 of them were rereads. So I only had 1 in June. My last 5-star read before then was in May, the 27th of May. So it's been a while since I've had a 5-star read. I don't know what's going on. I seem to be getting quite a lot of 4.5s, but not quite 5-star reads. And then quite a few 3.5 stars as well. It is what it is. But I've really enjoyed this round of Summerween. Chat to me in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed. And I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.